Hi, welcome to Let's Talk About Business. My name is Nelson Pena from IMC International, partnering with Dukascopy Swiss Financial TV. For this program, I have invited Miss Zenaida Moya, who is the Country Associate Director in Belize. And with her, I would like to discuss the topic, doing business in Belize. Hi, Zenaida, how are you doing?
I am doing quite fine, Nelson.
Very much welcome to this conference. I'm very happy to see you. Listen, Zenaida, you are representing a country which is somehow known because it's so beautiful, as far as I know. But on the other side, it's quite unknown. What is Belize today from an economic and, I would say, business point of view?
Okay, well, Nelson, Belize is one of the smaller countries. However, what it has to offer are not only the natural resources, because as you very well put it, it's one of the most beautiful countries, if I may say so myself. And a lot of people flock to it for many different reasons. Of course, tourism is one of it, because Belize boasts the second longest coral reef in the world. And it also hosts very beautiful attractions, well known by famous persons. For example, the Blue Hole made famous by Jacques Cousteau, and it has all the Mayan temples and the mountain pine ridges and flora and fauna. So people will flock to it for those reasons, for tourism. People also flock to it, however, when they want to get into business. The offshore banking sector has been an area where people have been very attractive to Belize because they know that in terms of privacy, Belize is one of the countries that still allows them to be able to, place their money in secure and sound areas that they feel comfortable with. Agro-processing is another area as well. Belize has a lot of natural resources, and one of those resources happens to be land. And so agro-processing has been another area whereby Belize has been, initially it used to be that it would export a lot of its raw materials, raw products. However, over the past few years, it has been partnering with different larger companies within and outside of Belize, whereby it has really been pushing the agro-processing industry. Mariculture or aquaculture is another area as well, because as you know, Belize is right next to the Caribbean Sea, and that's definitely an area. But I want to tell you before I go into another area is the information technology area. That's an area, for example, where business process outsourcing and call centers and businesses in those areas have been able to come to Belize and get the resources that they so much desire. Belize can be looked at as a near shore country in terms of, for example, we have a huge market in the north, which is the North American market, which is, of course, the US, the Mexican, and the Canadian market. And of course, in the south, it has the different Central American and South American countries, and in the east, all the Caribbean countries. But it has a fairly young population, a very well-educated population, and it has individuals who are willing and they're into this information technology wave. So that's another area in terms of businesses being able to seek out Belize, primarily because it's the only English-speaking country in Central America.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you something tonight. This is an important point. When I was dealing with your country, you are surrounded mostly by Spanish-speaking countries. You are somehow a kind of exotic in this area. How do you, as a country, I mean, you also had previously a major official position in your country. What is the reality being integrated or not being integrated in this region? How do you handle this? Is it a harm for you? It is an advantage?
We believe it's an advantage. We have been able to, while we still work with and very closely with our Central American brothers and sisters, in terms of our sister countries, we have been able to garner, the whole position that, when it comes to being able to be fully bilingual, Belize has the highest potential to be bilingual. As a matter of fact, Belize, English is its official language. However, 65% of the population speaks fluent Spanish, which no other country can say.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I know that you're a very strong link to the Commonwealth, also to the British ex-empire, if I can say. You take some benefit out of this. How does this benefit is visible for an investor coming from the United States or from Europe, wishing to get established in Belize? What are the benefits belonging to the Commonwealth and belonging to the United States?
Okay, well, one of the advantages clearly of being a part of the Commonwealth, which is comprised of close to 54 countries who were once really colonies of England. They're all English speaking. And at the end of the day, our countries hold a camaraderie in terms of supporting each other in many different areas. One of those areas have traditionally been, for example, to support when it comes to conflict resolution and different areas that had to do with its national sovereignty. However, another area that it has been able to look at over the past few years is also in terms of export among itself, export and import among itself, and Belize also in terms of being able to get special preferences, and even the other countries, they have been able to access those special terms that would be offered to such countries. So it's not only political benefits, it's clearly also economic benefits, and many of the Commonwealth countries, we meet together. For example, I have been the chairperson of the Commonwealth Local Government Forum, and so from early 2000, from 2006 as a matter of fact, but early 2007 when I became a member of the board, I have been able to push what is necessary for our country to really garner the support. And I believe that very recently, for example, let me just say that in May 2012, we held a huge meeting whereby so many of the ministers and the Secretary General of the Commonwealth Secretariat and particular provinces came down to Belize to be able to meet and discuss not only the local governance, but also the different issues that faces them. So clearly, economic and political issues were dominant on those fronts, and governance issues. And
exactly, and this is, I think, if I consider that Belize has, please correct me if I'm wrong, 300,000 inhabitants, more or less. So it's a kind of a large, it's a kind of a large city. It's a kind of some few blocks in New York, potentially. On the other side, you have a very interesting development. Can you explain the reasons behind? What are the sources of this positive development, considering that we have had a world crisis, a financial crisis, and you did better than the remaining countries? What is the reason?
Well, first of all, let me be upfront. Our dollar is pegged to the US dollar. What affects the US oftentimes affects Belize. However, over the years, we have been pushing diversification, and of course, the US isn't only one of our main trading partners. Of course, we have, in Europe, you know, and we have our different other neighboring countries whereby we have been working very hard to establish a stronger trading relations with them, and that has been yielding fruits. And it was on account of those particular relationships, economic relationships, and that we were able to, in a fairly good manner, be able to withstand, you know, what other countries were not able to withstand when it came to the economic crisis. However, I will say that in terms of the diversification of the areas, Belize is one of those countries that, whilst we may be a small country, the diversification in terms of the areas that we have been trying to concentrate on, and I mentioned some of those, of course, the offshore banking sector, the agro-processing, tourism, you know, aquaculture. People always need to eat. Nelson, you know that fully well. So even like an area like that where people, it doesn't matter what happens, people always need to eat. And as I told you, we are right next to major markets. And I believe that our very good, you know, bilateral relations was one of the main factors that was able to help us withstand those areas. I mean, of course, the government and the public sector, and of course the private sector, played a huge role in ensuring that there was some level of economic stability during those very trying and challenging economic times.
If I will be an investor, well, I think what I got from your explanations, there is a kind of tax advantage, mostly. I think nobody in Belize is ashamed if I consider you as a kind of tax safe haven. I think this is where you attract investors. On the other side, as a company, if I would like to use Belize as a regional hub for Central America, could be this, I would say, a suitable strategy to get in this region, to use Belize as a kind of bilingual or English-speaking country?
Yes, Belize, one of the areas that the Belize government offers, and I must say that our government has been a very stable democratic government. And but one of the areas that the country of Belize has offered for some time now is financial incentives to potential investors and to actual investors who seek out such a country as Belize to invest in or to partner with. And that fiscal incentives, as we call it, or people call it concessions, have been such that there have been particular areas whereby, depending on what industry or areas that you would be able to get tax-free status all the way up to 20 years, all right? 20 years, that means no taxes, that means, yeah, just no taxes.
No taxes. Oh, good.
No taxes. I mean, you can't beat that, right? And
I will see. I will see.
if you're a manufacturing company, or if you're a processing country, like processing, aqua processing, whatever processing it is, you would be able to bring in, you know, your different materials, and you wouldn't have to be worrying about paying.
I think many investors are going to listen very carefully about this. Okay, that's no taxes. Okay, I know, Zenaida, that you and your team, you're really offering a 360-degree service. I know that you have lawyers, you have tax advisories, you're very well connected to the local government. I think in Belize, everybody knows everybody, and this is a good point to start. What kind of services mostly clients or companies are requesting from you and from your team when they are getting into Belize?
Well, again, there's areas of business. For example, particular persons would want to look at areas clearly whereby they can come into Belize and be able to set up business from start to finish. Not finish as in, you know, the business ends, but finish as in terms of setting up the business and having it fully ready for operations. And in different areas, trying to deal with going into a country, any country, and trying to do it on yourself, it's not always the easiest thing, unless there's a one-stop shop. And that is where IMC Belize offers that particular service, that if you want to come into Belize, you want to set up operations, you want to set up, you know, an international business company, you will have that support, you know, to liaise with government, with the different governmental agencies. As a matter of fact, IMC Belize will be able to do all that for you. Yes, we do have legal personnel on hand who are extremely capable of carrying out those particular legal processes. Of course, you have someone like myself who has that extensive government background, knows all about the government, has strong links with the different governmental departments and agencies that any business would need were they to seek out Belize as their country of choice for establishing businesses. So it's a one-stop shop IMC Belize offers. And, you know, you say what you want to do. Of course, there will be certain areas that we will guide you on, we will advise you on, we will inform you what is necessary and what may not be able to be accomplished immediately. However, perhaps with sound advice and different maneuvering, certain things can be done. But the point is, everything you need to get done from start to finish, IMC Belize will be able to assist, and that has to do in all areas of commerce and industry that you seek.
Good. Zenaida, I would like to thank you. It has been, I would say, very insightful. In 10 minutes, I have learned a lot about Belize. I know that we don't pay taxes there, and I know that your English is just very nice. So thanks a lot. It has been very, very pleasant to talk to you. And yes, all the best. This was Inside Business, discussing how to do business in Central America, particularly in Belize. Thanks for watching IMC International and Dukascopy Swiss Financial TV. Bye for now.